Good afternoon, Miss Nases. This will be my video lecture for today, October 12, 2021. Today is Thursday. This will be uh, foreign language 2, no? And for today, we'll be continuing our discussion on the past tense. Past tense will be for el tiempo pasado, or we call it el pretérito indefinido. Okay, so as is customary, we go first to the conjugation, no? Conjugación, la conjugación de los verbos. Remember, it is still regular verbs, no? Regulares. Okay? We go back to this, no? Verbos regulares. So we are still in the discussion of regular verbs, the conjugation. La conjugación de los verbos regulares. Okay? So, as usual, there are three types of verbs. We have the AR endings. We have the ER, and IR endings. These two, as I have discussed before, in pretérito indefinido or in el tiempos pasado, the same conjugation, no? The same conjugation. Clear now? So it is a little bit easier because instead of the three types that you will be memorizing, the two other verbs will have or will carry the same conjugation. Okay, so we start with this AR. Well, I told you, example would be visitar. Say for instance, this is your verb, so ending in AR, right? So what you do here, you have to drop this, the AR ending, and then you put the appropriate endings depending on the subject pronoun or personal pronouns. So, yo visité, diba? Then, next is tú visitaste, aste, no? Aste. Then, yo visito, no? And then we have nosotros, visitamos. These are the endings that you put, no? Visitamos. And then you take this, astes, and then Aaron. Aaron. Okay? So this is how you do it. I will remove this so that you will not be. So these are the endings that you put. You drop this, and then you put aste, o, amos, astes, Aaron. So another example would be to visitar is to visit. No? Another verb will be the verb tomar. Tomar is to take. It's also a regular verb. So you drop this again to get the past tense. Tome, tomaste, tomo. You remember the accent, no? Tomo, tomamos, tomastes, tomaron, no? Tomaron. Okay? So we proceed with this ER and IR endings. I told you they carry or they bear the same conjugation. So, say for instance, comer. The verb comer is to eat, no? It's an ER ending. Diba? So, the conjugation after dropping this, you put comí, no? Then, tú, comiste. Then, ella, usted, comió, no? So, there is the accent in the O. Then, imos, comimos, comistis, then comieron. Hieron is the ellos, ellas, ustedes comieron. No? So let's take another verb. This time ending in IR. Okay? So we take recibir. Recibir would be to receive. No? Recibir would be to receive. So what you do, because this is ending in IR, you drop that, then you add already the suffixes that I have given you. No? So it will sound like recibí, recibiste, recibió, recibimos, revistiis, recibieron. Okay? You want another example? Well, another example for ER endings would be aprender. Aprender is to learn. Aprender. To learn. Now, so taking the past tense, it would be yo aprendí, tú aprendiste, no? Él, ella, usted aprendió. Then nosotros aprendimos, vosotros aprendisteis. Then finally, ellos, ellas, ustedes aprendieron. Did you get that? And one more example would be ending in IR. Take my notes. Ending in IR would be the verb admitir, is to admit. Admitir. Of course, ending in IR, you drop that. So the past tense would be yo admití, tú admitiste, él, ella, usted admitió. Put the accent. Nosotros admitimos, vosotros admististeis, then ellos, ellas, ustedes admitieron. Okay, get that? So these are the examples on how you do the past tense. And last time, I also discussed about, what did I discuss? The los adverbios de tiempo. These are adverbs of time in el tiempo pasado. No? El tiempo pasado, past tense, in the past. No? So what are those again? The different adverbs of time that will indicate past tense or el tiempo pasado. Give me one, Miss Nases. Okay, of course, the adverb ayer. Ayer, what do you mean by ayer? Is yesterday. No? That is what is meant. Miss Nases. Then, last night would be anoche. Anoche would be last night. Now, how do we say last week? Because it's feminine, la semana pasada. So it agrees, no, with the gender, no. So this one is last week. Okay, so you just add, no, you just add this adverbs of time. Say for instance, you say I work. I worked yesterday. So how do you say that in Espanol, Miss Nases? Work is trabajar, no? Trabajar. So yo trabajé. Yesterday would be ayer. So that's it. You translate that. Yo trabajé ayer. That is already a sentence, a grammatically correct statement. So usually, los adverbios de tiempo are put at the end. Okay, remember that. Okay, so we proceed. How do we say last month? El mes pasado. No? Last month. Last month. How do we say last year? El año pasado. Okay? This is last year. So how do we say Last summer, el verano. Verano is summer. El verano pasado. No? Last summer. No? So how do we say a moment ago? A moment ago is hace, coming from the verb hacer. Hace un momento. A moment ago. A moment ago. How do we say a while ago? Hace, so this hace is ago, no? Hace un tiempo. A while ago. A while ago. So ayer is yesterday. How do we say the day before yesterday? We call that, or we say it, anteayer. Anteayer. The day before yesterday. No? So that is how we say it. I told you these adverbs of time are usually placed at the end of your sentence. So how do we say, can I erase this now, Snases? How do we say in, okay, we are still in adverbs of time. A long time ago, hace mucho tiempo. No, this is a long time ago. Hace mucho tiempo. A long time ago. How do we say 2 hours ago? Hace 2 horas. No? How do we say 3 days ago? Hace 3. So do not forget hace, no? Because that is where you will start. Hace 3 días. No? How do we say 5 days ago? Hace 5 días. 5 días because it's plural, 5. No? How do we say a month ago? Hace un mes. Okay, so do not forget hace. These are all adverbs of time which you could use in your sentences to prolong your sentences if you are creating your sentences in the past tense. Okay? Can I erase this now? So I think that will be a good background already for you when you conjugate the regular verbs. No? Los verbos regulares. Regular verbs in the past tense. The past tense. So we say el tiempo pasado de los verbos regulares. Okay? So remember, it's regular verbs because irregular verbs will carry a different conjugation for irregular verbs. Now, I'd like you to take this as your assignment, Snases. Okay? Assignment number 5, which you will write also in a long pad paper, yellow pad. Number 1, Roman numeral number 1. This is your assignment number 5. Assignment number 5. No, I have given it October 12, 2021. Assignment number 5 would be you have to find and memorize. We start with irregular verbs. No? Find and memorize the conjugation of the following. We start with irregular verbs already, Miss Nases, next time because we are running out of time. With the following irregular. I'm running out of ink. Irregular verbs. So what are these verbs? Letter A would be the verb ser. Then letter B, the verb star. Letter C would be ir. Ir is to go. Then D would be dar. Dar is to give. Okay, that's Roman numeral number 1. Get that, Miss Nases? Okay, for Roman numeral number 2, I'd like you to view in YouTube. No, you could find this in YouTube. Lesson. Here, I'll erase this now, Miss Nases. No? You could find it. Roman numeral number 2, which is also your assignment, would be YouTube. You view in YouTube, no? Lesson number 31 and lesson number 35 of the language tutor. The language tutor. You could find this. I think this one is about 7 minutes. This one is about 5 minutes. The language tutor. So lesson number 31 has something to do with the past tense of verbs ending in AR. Lesson number 35 would have something to do with verbs ending in ER and IR in the past tense, all in regular verbs. Okay, so what do you do with this? You summarize. No, I'd like you to summarize the lecture. Okay. Today, it is quite short. It is quite short. Before we proceed with the discussion of irregular verbs by next week. Okay. Good afternoon.